All right. Hello, we are live. All is one.
All is one.
All is one, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. It's the 7th day of October. How is everyone feeling? Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We're excited to have this live with you guys.
Very excited.
Very, very excited. We're going to do our introductions, but I'm trying to make sure people come in and get settled, get you some water, get you some tea, get you some popcorn if you want to, some fruit, some veggies, high vibrational things.
Hey.
Okay, come on in. I see we got 3 people in. All is one. All is one. All is one.
One.
So, all is one reflections. I am Priestess Sule. I am one of the goddaughters of the Reverend Priestess Oshun Funke Yanifa. I am a staff member at the Risha Hoodoo Institute, and I am joined by my lovely Egg Bay, my lovely Coven sister, a creative mind, just a beautiful person all around. Please, Priestess, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Priestess Olaia Ifasebee. I am a student and mentee of Reverend Priestess Oshun Funke Ianifa, and I've been a part of the coven for a few years now. So, very excited to be here and start my little journey on interacting with everyone and going live and doing the things. So, get used to seeing me, and maybe some of you have already started to see me with my gratitude posts. We're on day 6. So,
Ashe. So, my lovely priestess, Egbe, came up with an idea. So, priestess, I have an idea about a series. And she pitched the idea, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So, we are going to do a self love series. This is part 1 of many that we are going to talk about self love. Today's title is called Self Love, period. Okay. Period. Okay. How would the youngins say it? Okay. And so we are going to talk about why we decided to do this series. So, Priestess, did you want to kick it off? Tell the people why you wanted to do this series, why we're doing it, this gift to the universe, to the people, to the community.
plain and simple, there's just not enough self love being displayed. And, I've been very quiet in the group, more active lately. But a lot of what I see from non coven members is a lack of self love with the requests and some of the things that they're asking about. I see some really great questions in there. Do not get me wrong, right? But even outside of the group, there's just not enough self love being displayed. I feel because when there's a lot of self love being displayed, people are mirroring that, and so there's not a lot of drama. There's no talking about each other and all these different types of things that occur. And so that was like one of the reasons, um, the fuckery in the group that just blows my mind. And it's just like, if you really focus on yourself, y'all, literally do self love, you will see a drastic change in all the work that you've done. So, those are just a few of the reasons for me.
Ashe to that. Amen to that. And so also we wanted to do this series as well because we want people to step into their power. I don't think people realize the act of self-love, how powerful it is. If we have more self-love and self-power, we would, like Priestess said, we would be able to avoid a lot of the foolishness and fuckery, right? Because we care about ourselves, because we care about our well-being. We want the best for ourselves. So we want to be able to help or encourage people to step into their power, the power of self-love. We want people to help overcome the negative perceptions of themselves. The way that we see a lot of things being reflected is because of how we view ourselves, our negative perceptions of ourselves, our negative perceptions that people have put on ourselves. So that has caused a lack of self-love, so we want people to step into their power. We want people to overcome negative perceptions they have, that's ingrained in them, that's ingrained into their very much their fiber, their DNA. And to start this is a lifelong ritual. This is a lifelong process. We want to keep the ball rolling. Self-love is not a one-stop shop. So we are hoping that you will be able to learn from us. We'll be able to learn from you guys. And this series will be great. Okay. So, did you anything else you want to add, Priestess?
No, I think that self-love just is one of those acts that we lead by example. So we talk about self-love, but I feel like all the coven members, we actually practice self-love. So that's how we can sit here and talk about it, because we lead by example. So that's one thing to consider when you're on your self-love journey, is like it's an act of leading by example, and to show people the way and actually how to do this as well.
Amen, Ashe. And I guess I can say for the people like in the coven, there's no way that you can be a healer, a spiritual leader, a spiritual healer, a spiritual leader, be a tool for a vessel for spirit and not practice self-love. So that is why, Priestess said we lead by example. We know the importance of what it looks like when we don't put ourselves first, when we don't practice self-love, especially as spiritual practitioners. So leading by example is we just don't talk the talk, we walk the walk. So did you want to kick off the next question?
Yes. So the first question that we have this evening for our self-love period, Priestess Omoshule, tell us what your definition of self-love is.
Okay. So for me, I have realized that my definition of self-love is ever evolving, just based off of what I'm going through in life, right? My life experiences, my elevations, things that I'm going through, things that I need at this time. But self-love is how you take care of yourself, right? How you empower yourself, how you speak life into yourself, the positive things that you think into yourself, you speak to yourself. And it's also the actions that you take towards yourself, the act of pouring into yourself, the act of elevation. That is all around, for me, self-love.
Definitely. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. So my definition of self-love is the way we want to see ourselves from others. Like, so the love that we want to see from others is mirrored by how we love and nurture and care for ourselves, and how we heal ourselves, how we trust ourselves, on all levels, and apply boundaries to the areas in life that are lacking, and the integrity that we display, and like all that we do. Like, that is literally my definition of self-love. It's just like there's layers to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So some folks in the chat, share with us what your definition of self-love is.
And there is no right or wrong answer. I also think maybe I should go to my YouTube. Are you able to see the questions, Priestess, that they're posing for you?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I can't see it yet, but hold on.
Yeah, but there isn't any yet, but I
Okay.
can see when people are coming in the chat and everything. So.
Does anybody have their definition of self-love? And it's no right or wrong, answer. It's what really applies to you in your life and what you need at this time, and what you feel that you need at this time. Okay. So let me see if I can see any questions. Hi, Oshun Kamibi. Hello. This is really needed. When we learn how to love ourselves, we can learn to cultivate healthy sisterhood relationship. Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Understanding the balance between pouring from an empty cup and keep your cup full. Amen. Ashe Ayibabo.
Mm-hmm. Got another one over here from Gerard Whitecalf. Self love is dealing with self efficiency, ideal self, and self image with self esteem. Thank you so much, Gerard.
Mm. Oh, okay. Now I see the chat. Okay, so all is one priestess, Ifan Pamole, Omawa. I'm just going Omawaware Obangyomi. Whoo, that was a mouthful. Okay. Ooh, that was a sorry, sis. Don't I didn't mean to jack up your name. Um, let's see what else people are saying. Hey, Egg Bay. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm gonna learn how to work this technology one day. One day, okay.
Hey,
One day
E.
soon. Yes, welcome. Okay, so good. So can I go back to what Oshun Kamembi said? This is really needed when we learn how to love ourselves. We can learn to cultivate healthy sisterhood relationships. That is true. Okay. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but you hear those females sometimes. It's like I don't deal with a lot of females. I don't like that. They're not for sisterhood. They're not sisterly at all. They don't like to be around feminine energy. um and so also I feel like it's a self-love thing. That's just my opinion. I might be, don't knock me down, but I think it is a self-love thing. We should be able to be around sisterhood, be able to cultivate sisterhood, because we know that sisterhood is so important, right? So if you're lacking in self-love and there's things that that you're going through internally or that you don't feel comfortable with, within yourself, that can also spill over to your relationships that you have with other females.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Facebook user. I don't know who Facebook user is. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next question, which is because you already see I kind of went off on a tangent. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry.
Irrelevant to what we're talking about. So, our next question is, what are some examples of self love? Because we know that people get self love and self care confused, and they're actually two totally different things. So, what are some examples of self love?
For me, self-love is investing in my growth. Okay, my growth and my elevation. That is a way that I show self-love, by challenging myself, right? We always want to grow, always want to elevate, but do we really like invest in the time and the energy and the ashe to our growth and our elevation, or are we, you know, um, scared, living in, fear and things like that. So self-love for me is definitely pouring into my growth, my evolution. Also, self-love for me is knowing when to walk away from um, relationships, friendships, whether it's family, whether it's intimate, whether it's associates, collaborations, and things of that sort. So for me, self-love is knowing when to walk away. Um, being
Exactly.
compassionate, being
Yeah.
compassionate to yourself. I think I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but I think sometimes, as well, I'm going to speak for myself as a spiritual leader, as a healer. Sometimes I can lack compassion to myself because I have, and also too, I'm a Virgo, so I have, this perfection. I want to be perfect, and I want things to go this way, and I know, how I want to pour in my self love. But then, sometimes when I have one of those days, I'm like, I'm not feeling it, and I need to have a little bit more compassion with myself. It's okay not to have those days when I'm not feeling it. But sometimes as a spiritual practitioner, you're like, oh, I need to be on point every day, even if if the day is going bad. You got to just no. I'm gonna have a day where I'm gonna show myself compassion, and guess what? I
Right.
may not answer the phone, or guess what? I may not. I may just leave my phone at home. Don't I'll get back to you. Okay. So those are some of the ways. I don't want to go too much on the tangent. What are some ways for you, Priestess?
For me, let's see. So uh, feeling what I'm feeling is self love for me. So if I am in my feels about something, I'm gonna feel them because I need to know why I'm feeling this. And a lot of times, sometimes, being empath, whatever, it don't be for me. So I just kind of boot it out the way. But when the thing is lingering, I know. So I'm gonna just feel the feels, right? To just really acknowledge where I'm at on all levels. Why is this making me feel this way? And like really just evaluate that, right? That's really a big thing for me, is just feeling what I feel. That's a
Because
big, yeah.
I think we've been so conditioned not to feel what we feel, or what we feel sometimes is not right. And so as we start to recondition and do a lot of transmutation in our lives, we realize that it is okay to feel, and it's okay to be able to process it. Sometimes I know with me, I'll be stuffing things down, be like, okay, I'm not really supposed to be feeling that way. Let me stuff it down. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Priestess, because it's the confirmation that I need as a priestess, and hopefully confirmation for others as well, to feel the feels. The feels are real.
Yeah, you got to feel what you're feeling in order to be able to get to that next level. Like if you can't identify certain things, then how are you going to keep elevating to your next highest level, right? That's how I look at it. Priestess Ifapamile Omaware Obanyomi said, not letting ashy mofos cause chaos and dysfunction. Like, move, bitch.
Let me
Uh,
tell you. Let
for
me tell
real.
you. Sometimes I just my sisters, I just really wish that we would get to a point. And this is real, and I think we are going to touch on it, as a conversation goes. But I always say, once a woman realizes her worth, like, no motherfucker can tell her anything. You won't let no ashy people, the ashiness is starting to get real ashy, the Lubriderm, the shea butter can't moisture, you've got to go. Okay. Because if not, because if there's a lack of self-love, you're going to let that chaos and that confusion just fester and all that. And next thing you know, it's not even contained in your house. That chaos and confusion is like spilling over to the outside of your house and other relationships and stuff. So I agree, Priestess. Do not let the ashes. Once it start ashing, you to the left. Okay.
To the left, to the left.
Oh, I like when someone's setting boundaries. Yes, and Priestess Ifa Pomale Omaware Ogbanyome, I did want to say anything because you did talk about that in your class today, the daily spiritual planning, and I was gonna pin the chat like, oh, we're gonna talk about that today, but I was like, let me just have a focus. Okay, so yes, you did touch on a lot of stuff as well, setting boundaries. Hi, Facebook user. I don't know who Facebook user is. But hey, Facebook user. Okay. So, also
So,
self-love, spending time with yourself. Can I tell y'all? Can I tell y'all? And I think it's becoming a problem. I don't know if it's becoming a problem in my life, but I know that, it's something that I need to be like more intentional about, spending time with yourself. I love spending time with myself so much that I love to solo travel. Okay. I don't like to travel with people so much. I love it because I know how I'm going to be. I know my likes, my dislikes. I like the company. I like my own company that I keep, that sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like being bothered today because I like myself so much and I like my peace. Let me just, sometimes people have to send out APB like, girl, you alive? I'm alive. I'm just like, really just love spending time with myself. So when it becomes too much, then you should be like, maybe I should start integrating. But, that is a form of self-love. I know that there are some people that they don't even know how to spend time with themselves. Like, they would think if they spend time with themselves, the boogeyman himself would come and just be like, girl, you spending time with yourself? Like, I know people like that. But spending time with yourself, that is honestly, that is my ultimate form of self-love. I'm telling you,
yes.
I can ghost. Okay, I can really ghost, and they be like, "Is she?" Yeah, I'm just really like enjoying my time and my thoughts, and not having to feel like I have to adjust the way that I feel for people and things like that. And so I need my time to go into the forest. For those who know, they know. There are times where I go into the forest And so, I have seasons when I just love to spend time with myself. So that is my ultimate form of self-love.
I'm
Okay.
right there with you. I love my alone time. I love my little, be in my little bubble. Can't
It's
nobody penetrate it.
right, girl. Let me
And
tell
I know
you.
that I've been in my bubble for far too long because it's hard to socialize after that.
It,
After I've been in my bubble for too long and it's just been me and my space with my things doing the stuff, even if I'm working, like no matter what, like once it comes to socializing, it's a whole nother level of what is this? Because
and also too, I be like, the seasons is changing. So y'all gonna have to give me 10 business days anyway if you want me to come out the house, do extracurricular activities outside of going to the plantation and coming back from the plantation, okay? So y'all people already know, oh, it's winter time. For all my friends that got winter birthdays, y'all already know how it go. Y'all need to tell me a month in advance because I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself. I'm gonna have to be like, oh, I gotta be around people. Then I gotta go outside in the cold. And then I just be like,
that
you know
part,
what?
and I'm in the Northwest, so it gets cold here.
Uh,
Cold.
you know, I want to go to the West Coast. I want to go to Washington. I'm getting off on a tangent, sorry guys. So, but I want to go whale watching. I promise you, I want to go whale watching. And I've asked some friends, see, this is why I travel by myself and I just like being by myself anyway. And it was like, why you gotta go see whales? Why would you do that? Like, I'm going whale watching and I'm gonna go by myself and I'm gonna invest in a nice camera because I'm gonna take beautiful pictures. Okay. But I want to go to the West Coast. I want to go see the whales. I want to see the calves. I want to see them jump, hop, skip, jump, do all the things that they do in their environment, right? In their nature, in their home habitat. I want to do that. So I'm gonna come one day on the West Coast. I don't know if they have it in Oregon, but I would love to go hiking in Oregon. But I would leave some trails and stuff. Tell people where I'm going because I don't want y'all on the news like the little black girl that got ate by the grizzly bear because she was
Listen, we
hiking.
be out there in them trails and on them hikes. We be out there.
I love it, and I feel like
We
it's
be out there. I don't care. We got into it one time, me and my homegirl Marissa. We was going for a hike. The parking, they be trying to debo. We be having to pull up.
really
Hmm.
okay.
But
Well,
it's fine. You just chop them down one size. They'd be fine. Get back in their little car and drive away. But yes, so I think another example of self love is your willingness to do different things to elevate yourself. So, learning more stuff, deepening your education, like spending time with yourself and reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think those things, those fundamental pieces, are also like a big piece of self love that you don't really talk about.
investing, not even investing in yourself, but like allowing yourself to go through the changes because like the changes is the hard part. Sometimes we're resistant to the change that we need to like elevate, that we need to pour into self-love because it can be scary, right? Change is scary. So I agree with you. Oh yeah, we just started at 5:30. Facebook user, I don't know who said that.
5:30 or 8:30, 7:30, wherever, depending on where
So
you
I am learning because I do this on the plantation too, that I realize that everyone is not on the East Coast. So it might be my East Coast stubbornness, egotistical way, thinking that everybody's on our time. And so like I'm talking to Priestess and I'm like, 7:30. And she's like, all right, so 7:30 Eastern or what? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Okay. So
got to be more careful.
I got to be more careful. I do. And maybe I need more friends on the. I do have friends on like the West Coast and Central Time,
We
but we
out
just
here.
kind of like,
We out here. We out
yeah.
here.
I don't know. I just always. I guess maybe we ain't never really do planning purposes, and if we're planning things, then we're usually in the same time zone. I guess
Mm.
usually. So,
Can we
um,
talk about how rest is resistance real quick though?
go ahead, Priestess. Tell them about it. Tell them.
We
Tell them.
need to rest. Listen, I used to be one of those people who had like two and three jobs all the time, working 24/7, like literally work myself to the bone because obviously cultural, that's what we're told, right? But that's not what it is, y'all. When you rest, so they don't want you to do. They don't want you to rest. They don't want you to be invigorated and get that good REM sleep and wake up refreshed, feeling like, yes, I got a million ideas today. They don't want that. So make sure you rest. Like, that is also a huge part of self love. I'm sorry.
No, because you're preaching to the choir. Because I'm like, rest, what? But I am doing better about that. I used to have like 2 or 3 jobs. I used to stay with a job. Okay, I used to be like, I don't in my 20s. I know I look 21, y'all, but sorry to tell y'all, sorry to put it out on y'all like that. Okay, but when I was in my 20s, I was doing social work during the day, working like from 8 to 4:30, and then I would go work at a mental health hospital from like 6:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. and just be like, yeah, I'm doing things, I'm getting things done. And then I'd be crashing, and then I realized I am no longer going to work myself to the bone. And I've also learned that when spirit tells you to rest, you have to rest, or they will make you rest. Okay. Rest is a form of, like you said, self love. Sometimes we feel like, people like the Harveys, the Steve Harveys and stuff, talking about you're not supposed to sleep, and, no, sleep, because you're not even your best self if you're not even well rested. You're going to be agitated. You're going to be irritable. You're going to be, you won't even have the clarity that you need to make informed decisions. You won't even have the capability to even pour into yourself because you're not well rested. So thank you, Priestess. Rest or spirit will make you rest. Okay.
And sometimes they won't make you rest the way you think they will. They will like sit you down. And sometimes that, depending on who you are and what your karmic future is looking like, that may look like the form of a dis-ease because you're not listening after them telling you for so long. So please, 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 please rest. It's fine to work multiple jobs, right? Like, so I run a nonprofit, I have a business, getting my spiritual business up and going. So it's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income. It's actually encouraged. Like, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying you need to pencil in that rest because you need it.
Exactly. Thank you for that. I got sat down in 2020. Yeah, spirit would say, sat down somewhere. Didn't I tell you to sat down somewhere? Okay. They make me sit down all the time. Exactly. Because they know what we don't know. Sometimes we think we know everything, and we trying to tell spirit what we know. No, spirit's like, then why are you even coming to me? Like, I want the best for you. Sat down somewhere. Okay. Facebook user said, I got sat down in 2021. Haven't played with my sleep since. Let me tell you. And then also too, just you mentioned sleep. That is how a lot of times spirit, you get messages from spirits through your sleep. That's how you get clarity of things. Because sometimes I know in the waking world, there's a truck right now. I hear my surroundings are very loud. So when I am able to lay my body down and rest, I know spirit is like, good. Now we got so much stuff to tell her. Girl, you're going to wake up and do this tomorrow, that tomorrow. What you said self-love, so you're going to do this. And then when I wake up, I'll be like, I forgot. And spirit be like, ah.
Listen, when I tell you, when I had my first reading with Ia, when I first entered into traditional mentorship back in 2021, the first thing they said is, you're not sleeping enough. You need to be in bed by 11. Like, take your ass to sleep.
Yeah.
I could stay up all night, y'all, working, doing jewelry, making products, being in the lab, being a little chemist, mixing and mastering. Like, I literally get lost in that shit. It literally is like what I do. So it's nothing for me to just sit here for hours on end at the table creating. It's not healthy though. So I have to get up and I have to move around and I have to remember to rest. So I put chunks of time.
That's why when Priestess was talking about her class today about planning, make sure you plan your day out, right? I realized that one of my biggest things was I was not planning my time accordingly. I was like, and so then I would wake up and frazzle from the time I get up. I'm going to say my prayers, but it's still frazzled and stuff. Oh, we got to run to the bus and the train. And then I'm up 2:00, because that's when I best work. But also too, is spirit talking about something. Yeah, you tired in the morning because you don't need to be going on that planting. You need to be working for yourself. Okay, so you can make up your time. If you want to stay up late, stay up late. Do what you got to do, but you ain't got to answer to nobody in the morning. I hear you, spirit, and I'm working on it. Okay, so
Okay.
yes, so rest, and rest is another form of having compassion for yourself. Sometimes I know as I'm a mom, and sometimes we pour so much into our kids, it's like there's no rest for the weary type of thing, right? It's like as soon as I lay my body down, it's like, can I have a snack? Anytime, it's like always something, right? So when you can get a moment to rest, because that is another form of like having compassion for yourself. We're so used to going and doing for other people that we don't do for ourselves. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
alrighty, so where are we at, Priestess?
That brings us to our next topic, which is, when did you know you were lacking in the self love department? Like, what made you be like, hold up, I need to put my brakes and take a step back and reassess what's going on? Like, how did you know? What made you do that?
Okay, so I heard what you said, but I also got distracted by schedule and nap. Let me tell you, if I knew what I knew when I was a little kid, I'd be napping all the time. Okay, I tell my daughter, girl, naps are just like the best thing. And also too, from I read it somewhere. I can't quote it. I can't give you directly where, but it works for me. They say anything over 30 minutes, you are not getting up. You need to have a 30-minute, 15 to 30 minute. Once you go past that 30 minutes, if you taking a nap at 5:30, you're not waking up to 5:30 the next day. Okay, and you be like, what? You be so discombobulated because it's still dark outside, so you can't tell the time. You know how many times my mom called me telling me something, what time is it, girl? What time does your phone says? What time does it? I took a nap and I just don't. What does your phone? You have to use your phone to call me. Do you not believe your phone? All right, so sorry. All right, so when did I know I was lacking in the self love department? Baby, I've all right, so I don't even want to. We're not even gonna go on the little colorism things, the dark skinned girl things or whatever. But I've always had there was always a lack of self love,
Mm-hmm.
and it was how I was treated when I grew up, right? Not even to go deep. I remember one time I was bleaching my skin. I know the ancestors was like, I know you motherfucking lying right here, okay? I know they wanted to knock that shit out of my hand, like, girl, what the fuck you doing? The fuck? So I've always in my younger years, I wanted to be lighter. Oh, don't talk about the hair, baby, okay? So and it would come up in certain areas of my life, as I started to become a teenager. But once I really started to notice and wanted to make a change was when I had my daughter. Um, when I had my daughter, because I knew the things that I went through with the lack of self love and how that manifested in my life, as far as the way that I allow people to treat me, even from, we're not even talking about intimate relationship, even like friendships and things of that sort, right? Um, how I let people treat me, how I view myself, even from the things that I took in, myself, even from the job that I was having. So I was like, damn, like I'm a mom now. I need to be making money, okay, to feed this child. And so that's when I really started knowing that, like, girl, you really keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can. And I didn't want her to go through that. I didn't want her to struggle through with the things that I went through. So I was like, I need to get my shit together, because if my daughter sees me treating myself this way, how would she think that she's going to treat herself? How would that correlate to her saying, talking negatively to herself, or allowing certain people to treat her certain ways, because of how she sees people treat me. So that's when I realized I was like really lacking in the self. I was faking it until I was thought I could fake it until I make it type of thing. Like, but once a kid come, you realize that shit is
Can I
real.
just
Like,
no, I don't want no fake shit ever. I don't
let me
want that
tell you,
making shit.
I
Like,
thought
I
I
need
could fake it till I make it.
that saying.
Let
Like,
me tell
no,
you, you would know.
really,
You would never hear me say. I would never say that. I'm gonna walk around like I'm the baddest chick in the room. Okay, like I'm walking. but deep down I was like, or
Yeah.
I allow certain things, or I'm not gonna go out for that because I don't think that I deserve it. I'm not gonna apply to this scholarship because there's so many people that are more qualified for me. Bitch, no, not. So I would never say it, but I deep down it was like I felt that way. But I don't think anyone even knew it because such a good I'm such a good disguise. I don't want to say a liar because I that was my truth at the time. But you know, you ain't gonna never see me sweat even when I'm sweating. You like, Priestess, almost you like you sweating. No, I'm not sweating. It's glistening. Okay, this is juices and berries coming out of my pores. Okay.
I'm perspirating.
So what about you, Priestess?
So for me, I think so I started working on like my self image after high school, right? Like I went through this whole thing of like self image and self worth. Like that was a whole ordeal. But it wasn't until after I was separated from my husband, my ex husband, rest in peace, Jeremiah, um, that I really, really focused on my self love. Like literally, I'm not going to age myself, but I was like 31. I was 31 around that time. That was like really when I was like, okay, that didn't work. Didn't work for whatever reason. It didn't work. Um, but that really was the time for me. Is like I turned 30. That wasn't working out. The marriage wasn't working out. And then by the time I was 31, we were already separated, and it was all about yummy ya time. Um, that really was the time for me, and it wasn't about my ex-husband. It really was just about me coming out of like being incarcerated and getting married too soon. It was like so many things compiled on top of each other that I just really was like, you need to take a step back and really figure out what you're doing. Trying to make up for lost time was a thing for me. And so that came into play, and that doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. So I have really had to take a step back and be like, what is it? What am I trying to do? What is it for me? What's my self-love looking like? And let's really take this journey seriously, right? So that was it for me. Someone in the chat said, Facebook user, the relationships I was attracting, that woke me up. That's real.
Oh, and then someone said, well, my ancestral life path reading said it loud and clear. Let me tell you, you better start listening to them ancestors, okay? Because once you get that message, that is what you do with it is your business. It's not my business because they gave the message to you. But if you don't do it, then you're just being disobedient. So please be obedient to the messages that your ancestors are giving you. If your ancestors are saying, sit down somewhere, then if Mima is saying, if you know it's your Mima, sit down, like Mima said. Okay. Um, Someone said the relationships I was attracting that woke me up. Let me tell you, I remember, um, I don't know if I remember I was talking to somebody and I was talking about the people that I was attracting into my life, right? And I was like, I keep attracting this, I keep attracting this. And it was like, well, how do you view yourself? It's something about you that's attracting these people that you don't even want to like to have their attention or whatever, whether it's friendships, whether it's, people that wanted to date me or whatever. And so I realized that I was attracting a lot of things, a lot of unwanted attention from people that I didn't want attention from. Okay. I wanted attention from Barack Obama. Okay. Like you see me standing outside the White House. You don't see me. Okay. But then you got, the guy that's talking about, the aliens are coming and, he was abducted yesterday. Telling us, what you doing, sweetheart? So I realized that I was attracting certain type of things. It was the way that I had to really like unconsciously didn't know that the way that I was thinking about myself, the way that I even carried myself, Now it's different from sometimes we have resting bitch faces. People always saying, you look so mean, you look so mad. Actually, I'm having a really good day. Like, I'm having a really good day. The sun is shining. A bumblebee landed on me and it didn't sting. Okay. The everything is one. And I'm just really just trying to like get me, some water or something. You talking about, so why you just smile? Why you so mean? Why you so mean? And I'm like, come on, man, dang, I can't even walk to the store in peace.
No,
Okay.
you can't.
So that doesn't mean, yeah. So I'm not saying that you gotta, I know some people, I have seen it. I know some people that just walk down the street and smile, and I just be like, God dang, like I really be thinking like, what the hell are they thinking about? They probably just think about like how they ruined their ex's day or some shit. But some people just be walking down the street. Like, let me tell you. And I just be like, and I'm not mad. It's just like I'm in deep thought, or that's just how my face rests. Get to know me first. Don't offend me before you get to know me.
Wow.
Okay. But so sometimes the way that I carry myself, I can, attract certain people that, that's a reflection of how I feel about myself, like why I keep getting these bitch ass niggas. And because because you think of yourself as a bitch ass nigga too. Like attracts like, So yeah, Priestess. So
No, I feel all of that. All of that.
so can I tell you, all right, so can I ask you this? When you started on your self-love journey after you got because that is it's kind of like a whammy. You get divorced and then you like, then I gotta, it's so when you focus on your self-love, and especially like if you're trying to, uncondition yourself to certain things that you thought about, the way that you used to act, the people that you used to surround yourself, these are major changes. It's like you're really reinventing. When people get divorced, I don't know. I hope I don't get one, but let me find a man first so I get married. Okay. Let me get to the wedding first before we start talking about the divorce. But they say it's like it's a death and a rebirth, and so I feel like when you're on your self-love journey, it's also so it's like you have probably, can I even say this on YouTube? Child, they probably just say you only got 51 subscribers anyway. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel, okay? So at least when I'm using things, I'm saying things I'm not supposed to be saying in the YouTube world, they be like, let me demonetize her or something. They just be like, child, let me just put it to the side. She only got 51 followers. But so it is like it is. I would consider as a death of yourself, like a double death, and then like a double rebirth. So how was that for you? Can you? I guess what was your most difficult time? I guess, and what would be your most enlightened time?
I guess for me, like, it was the difficult part was being separated and wanting a divorce. Like, I knew that I wanted that, right? Just because I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. But where it really got hard is when my dad got diagnosed with being sick. That was like a hard time for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna get through this by myself and just with my dad, while he's in California and I'm up here. And that was a difficult patch. That was like a really, really tough patch for me with like dealing with being with myself, with these emotions and feelings and thoughts and like all the things, and like when you talk about how you think about yourself and fighting tooth and nail to not curse myself, okay, tooth and nail, because things get said in the heat of the moment. I think at one point he wished death on me. And so I was just like, oh my God, it just wished death on me. Like, what? And if I die, I hope you feel bad. Like, what the hell? So it just like things like that. I like had to really fight myself to love myself. Like, I had to let go of straight hair Michelle. My friend Adani calls it Georgia Michelle. don't know why he does, but he does. My license picture. So I had to like let all of those things go. I shedded every layer that just really wasn't authentically me, from straight hair to natural. Like that was a hard shift, I think, for everyone around me. But I loved it. I embraced it. It was a huge shedding of the layers that no longer served me and all the things. And I ultimately got through parole, all that shit, just fine. Like it was cakewalk. So after shedding all the things and like really just sitting with myself through cancer diagnosis and all the things, I can get through anything.
Amen, I should, when we realize what we can get through, we'd be like, damn, like I'm really like powerful, and this powerful spirits walking with me, trying to get me through. But you talked about, the self hair thing. I mean, the hair. I also feel that's a form of like, I don't want to say self love. No, it's yeah, self love. How you keep your hair, and this is whether you want to wear weave, whether you want to wear straight. Your hair is how you is a form of self love, self
It
expression.
is. That
I
was a huge thing for me.
Let me tell you, my mama was so mad when I went natural. She was just like, my mom's a Negro peon, so she like the straight hair, and like for real, like I've been getting relaxers. I'm telling you since I was like 4, and so I never knew what my natural hair looked like. I just knew it was always nappy hair. So, but I never knew. So when I think I transitioned like in college, and I didn't know I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that the super perm was not relaxing. The spirit was just like, get that out her hair. They're gonna say they got cancer, it causes cancer and stuff. But I remember the relaxer wasn't taken anymore, and I was like, let me just see what my natural hair looks like. My mom, she'd be like, oh, I can't believe you got your hair. She didn't like it. Then when I went to locks and stuff, oh man, she almost lost her shit. You would have thought I was out here. And what's that?
Can't nobody embarrass you like your mama can, right? Or hurt your feelings when it comes to your
Let me
motherfucking
tell you,
hair.
one thing about black, I ain't gonna get too
My
hard.
mom, her ass, I was rocking a fro, full on fro, curly fro, nappy fro. I didn't care. I had to get comfortable, so I just let my hair be. Like it was some months. It was hard for me. I didn't look in the mirror because I knew if I looked in the mirror, I was gonna try and pull out that blow dryer or do something, right? So I like literally was like did a little bit of snipping, snapping, fro, and my mom used to be like, "What's wrong with your hair?"
Yeah, that's what I was like. What's wrong with your hair, man? What's wrong with your hair? You still with a texturizer, ma'am, and it's not textured. It's just straight. Okay, look like little porcupines. Like you trying to get a texturizer, but look like a little porcupine. Let me not go too hard on my mom. But so that is a form of self love, right? So
Yes,
once I started, and I ain't gonna lie, it is, because that's your identity, things are so, and what you do with your hair is what you do with your hair. But for me, that's a form of self love. And then so I got locks. I used to wear the fro too. I used to have the nice fro up in here. They'd be like, look at, I used to tutor. I used to tutor little kids, and they used to say I used to look like one. I used to get Nina Simone. They were like, "Oh, look at Nina Simone! Look at Nina Simone!" And I'd be like, I'll take the high priestess or so. I'll take that. Okay. And then then they started calling me Asada Shakur. It was like, look at the fro, look at the fro. And I was like, okay, it was just easy peasy type of thing, right? But then when I went to locks, my mother, every time she would see me, she was like, oh, they were dreadlocks. They were dreadlocks 6 months ago. They were dreadlocks a year ago. They're going to be dreadlocks tomorrow. Like, ooh, what's that? And so when I got pregnant, I locked my hair up. So my daughter only knew me with locks. And I remember, first of all, it was just becoming too much to do Ori cleanse stuff. My neck was hurting and stuff. I don't know how I do it. I commend my sisters with locks that are, when I see y'all with the hair ties, my neck ain't built strong like that. I'm not built forward strong in the neck area. Spiritually, everywhere else, okay? But the neck area, if you ever want to give me, just put a whole bunch of locks on my head, I'm just going to pass out.
I just started my locks in January, so I'm 10 months in. They're looking really good. actually caught my neck, so I'm getting there.
I love the journey, but then after a certain length, because mine was like to my lower back, it was kind of just like, okay, what you doing? Like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Whoa.
And and so when I cut my hair, my daughter was just, and I remember I was thinking about it, and then I was just like, let me just do it myself. And I was just, I remember my friend Gerard was like, girl, look what the fuck she did to her hair. I guess I was looking like Cynthia from Rugrats or something. I don't know. And then my friend came and kind of evened it out. But I remember my daughter was like, at first she was like, oh, you got your hair. And then, maybe like a day or so later, she was like, I just want to be honest with you. You look like a boy. I don't like your hair like that. Why would you cut your hair? And I'd be like, girl, and I told her, I said, girl, you better be lucky I got some self-love and some self-esteem, because I'll be up here trying to sew my things back on. I'm gonna wear my hair how I want to wear, and ain't no 8-year-old gonna bully me into putting my locks back in my hair. Okay, I am not my hair. Okay,
Not Cynthia.
let me tell you, I started cutting them joints out,
I'm
and it
dead.
was all. But I felt so much lighter. I didn't know how much tension, honestly, and I think spiritually too, because I started thinking too, this might be going left, but your hair holds energy. I'm a firm believer of that.
It's
And
real, very real. They're your antennas. This is how we get
they
our
are,
messages.
so you need to be careful of like who you letting touch your hair, who pillowcases you laying up on, what nigga bed you laying up in. Yeah, you think you done showered and stuff, but you still got the remnants of the spirits all up in your hair and stuff. And so it's just be careful about who you let that. And I tell my daughter all the time, like, don't be letting people touch your hair. Stop letting people play in your hair. Get one stylist, stick to that stylist, learn how to do your own shit, because the stylist might be mad because your hair is nice and long and thick and stuff, and her hair is still straggly, and then next thing you know, she's trying to do stuff in your hair.
Before you even go sit in anybody's chair. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be assessing people's energy.
Exactly. Because if you love yourself, if you had self-love, you wouldn't be letting everybody play up in your hair. That's how I be telling my daughter. You don't be letting everybody play up in your hair. Okay. So, okay, sorry, I went on the I want to lock my hair, but I feel like once it gets too heavy, it's got to go. No, not necessarily. It does not have to go. I'm just, I'm either black or white. I'm just an extremist at every point. Okay, so I'm like, either we're gonna have these locks, or because you can cut them. I've known people was like, why are you saying cut your hair? And I was just like, because I didn't want to cut it. So you can always just cut your hair. You can keep it at a certain length that is comfortable for you. So yeah, it's yeah, once you feel like, and then also too, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. If you know your hair is getting too heavy, and it's thinning and stuff, and you can see your scalp and stuff, it doesn't matter how long your hair is. And I hate people like, oh, my hair is so long, but you got split ends all the way up to the crown of your head, man. Just cut it all off.
Cut it all off.
Like you can see through the hair. So it's like people say, quality instead of quantity. Like you want to make sure that your hair is healthy, right? So yeah, you got locks and stuff, but they too heavy. Your ends is you can see through your scalp. You're scalping, okay? Like it's okay. It's not a it's okay to cut it or combine them or whatever. So also make sure that you're treating your scalp well, because traction alopecia is real. My mom was braiding my thoughts. Like, girl, how can you braid so tight? And some of y'all stylists are twisting y'all thoughts, okay, twisting all the way down to the skull, okay. And then you wonder why your hair is like, you have no hair, you have alopecia, okay. So your hair stuff, love, but also how you take care of your hair as well. Like, and black hair care is an art, okay? I don't care what anybody says. You need to study black hair care, okay? For those that want to adopt kids, black kids, you have to study it is a art. It is a method. It is occult. It is occult knowledge, okay? You can't just slap no VO5. You can't slap no VO5 in the hair. Exactly.
And everybody's hair don't take the same products. everybody's hair don't lay the same. Like you really got to learn about some black hair to
Yeah,
do
you have to, because there's different grains and textures and things of that sort. And if people be like, "Oh, I got the edges, girl," yeah, that's fine, but mine's just gonna shrivel right back up as soon as I step outside into this humidity. So not, and also too, not all black hair is treated equal. So yeah,
it.
you could be using, oh, it says curly hair, girl. I got 4Z here. We ain't talking about 4B or C. We talking about Z here, okay? Like that ain't doing anything.
I
Okay.
love do be missing my curls though, y'all. My little curly fro. I do
And
be.
that is why I have not locked my daughter's hair up. And let me tell you how my mama said to me one day, I can't believe she even part her mouth to be like, "Oh, why don't you put a relaxer in her hair?" And I was like, "Girl, I can't believe you said that to me. Do you not know who your daughter is?" Obviously, she don't know who I was. And I was just like, I can't believe she asked me. And I was like, no, her hair is okay the way it is. That's her texture. And then I used to send my daughter to the South because, that's how we used to do. That's a little tradition. We send our kids to the South for the summer because with the grandparents. And I was like, my mom was like, I'm thinking about putting a relaxer in her hair. I said, ma'am, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't know what I would have done, but I think the ancestors would have to physically present themselves and hold me down and be like, because and so I teach my daughter, like, your hair is beautiful. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to wear it straight like everybody in the dead set of June because it's gonna shrivel right back up. But also too, your hair is beautiful, and don't let anybody say that about your hair. Don't let nobody play in your hair. And actually, just because, so let me show you these pictures of lice, so you know what lice look like, so you can respect your hair, have some self love, and stop having people play in your hair. That's how they get the little black kids. They're like, girl, you get bugs in your hair. Okay.
Enchanted Vibes Spiritual Readings and Wellness said vitamin D deficiency can be a cause of the spacing between locks as well.
Yeah, get your vitamin D up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we all have fibroids and endo. It's poison. Me and my whole fam. You talking about from the relaxers? I have this vision in my mind, but I was like, I would never do that. I would never just go in somebody's place and destroy it. But every time I see the relaxers, I just want to go on the shelves, just like, just knock it all off on the shelves.
Knock it all off the shelf.
I start sweating and stuff when I see the hot comb. I seen a video of the girl hot combing. I said, I know she burned that girl ear. It was too close. Okay.
Yeah. I think the colorism and the brown paper bag and the hair, natural hair versus straight hair conversation will be coming.
It sure will.
A really big conversation.
It surely will.
But you're definitely right, Facebook user. The older generation definitely does not understand that we are just as beautiful with our natural hair as we are with a flat iron.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. That is very much true. But like I always say, they may not understand. They don't have to understand because they wasn't at the table. They were not at the table when we all decide this. Okay, you wasn't even part of the equation, Mima. I understand what you're saying, Mima, but you're just not invited to that one. It's okay. And like I tell my mom, you will survive. You still alive. You still alive to tell me every 6 months, what are you doing with your hair? You still alive.
Yes, but what the older generation isn't understanding is that these chemicals that we put on our bodies, like with the soaps and the lotions and in our hair, is like a major reason, like they're talking about in the chat, like how we get endometriosis and fibroids and things like that. I also have endometriosis and fibroids at present, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't used chemicals since probably I was about 18, so clear 20 years. But still, like, it's there no matter what. So
yeah.
Enchanted Vibe says I have to use grease and a leave-in conditioner. Listen, grease.
What kind of grease you using? Dax? Is it Dax? DAX?
You using Blue Magic?
Child, let me tell you.
Or are you using the coconut one?
Which one? You using Dax? If you want straight hair, get a wig. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't know what to do with the straight hair. I just be like, just take it off. I like being able to, to just get up and go. It
That
just
looks
this
so
is not my
mainstream.
it's not my ministry. I heard this guy the other day and I couldn't even feel offended. I was like, he wasn't talking about me, okay? But he was loud in conversation. I don't know if he wanted me to know. I don't know. Or he's just a loud talking person. But he was talking about this lady how he was
Yeah.
dating, but she had like a short haircut and he was like, she was just looking like a man. It was just like a man, a man, a man. And I was like, well, I ain't never got that, but hopefully I'm feminine enough,
I
because I
love
didn't
your
have my
shirt.
hair. I thought I was gonna look like Mrs. Potato Head, and I was just like, if
Nowhere. Your
let me,
head does not look like Miss Potato Head. If anybody got a Miss Potato Head, it is me with this little round face. So yes.
no man, you look so cute with it with a short haircut. You just give me like a Cabbage Patch kind of doll. You and my sister, I don't know. It must be the Michelles. I don't know.
It probably
You and my
is.
sister have
It
like the
probably
brown
is a
face
Michelle thing.
with the
It's a
dimples, and
Michelle.
I'm just like, y'all give me real Cabbage Patch kind of vibe. I just love it. I just love it. Okay, it's better than a rock head. Okay, just imagine like, cutting your hair. You ain't know you had all these dents and stuff in your head, and you be like, "Who's Stone Cold Steve Austin?" You as a kid, okay?
No, that part.
Right. So you like, so I looked up. I asked my friend. I said, "Look, okay." I'm like, child, who been DDWU all I don't know what they do. My nephews used to like do all these moves and stuff on me. And then when I got like old enough, I was like, hold on, players, like y'all get a little too rough around here. Like y'all about to knock me out. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So okay, we getting off on a tangent. Okay.
So, all right. So, to the last topic for tonight, just on our introduction to self love, is we're going to talk about a couple tips for incorporating self love into your everyday life. Because self love is an ongoing ritual, like Priestess Omoshule stated earlier. It's not like a one and done. You don't go to the spa, have a nail day, get a massage, and then you're good for the year. Like that's not how it works. You got to really work at this thing daily. And
Mm-hmm.
like Priestess Ifam Pamela was saying in her class earlier, we need to schedule these things in. So even if that's like you need to schedule the time and all these things. So we're going to talk about some tips for incorporating self-love daily. Priestess Omoshule, you want to start?
I will say honoring how you feel daily. There are times where I feel like the way that I'm feeling, I should not feel, right? So I'm stuffing it down, and then it's just piling more things on top. Next thing you know, my motherfucking day bag. The day go to 2 days. The 2 days spend for a week, all because I wasn't, honoring how I felt. So I have learned honor the way that I feel, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. There are times that I was like, damn, I must be a fucked up person because I am indifferent to a lot of things. Like, and I'm just like, am I a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. You just learned to be indifferent about certain things, right? And I'm very indifferent about a lot of things, child. I'd be like, I don't care. But how about this? And also saying no. I
Mm-hmm.
have learned, and I have, there's been some times where I know motherfuckers ain't fuck with me at all, okay? And they invite me somewhere and I'm just like, but this is back in the day, okay? Now I just love my time. Now I'm asking who there, who gonna be there, and I'll show up. You'll know if I'm gonna be there if I show up or not. And there are times where my ori or my ancestors are telling me no, and I'm just like, but I'm not doing anything anyway, and I like alcohol. And I like to have a good time, and I don't say no. And then what happens? Some shit pop off, because I didn't listen to my intuition. And so I did not practice self love because guess what? Obviously, I must love the bullshit and fuckery if I keep dishonoring how I feel. Your intuition, that is your first defense, right? So, and that's an act of self love, listening to it. So when your intuition tells you no, it's no. And I have learned to say no. And I don't half of the time I don't give y'all an answer why. Because ain't none of your business. Because spirit told me no. Because I'm tired today. Because I've done all this stuff for you and it's no reciprocity. So now spirit is telling me that they don't give a fuck about you anyway and the things that you do for them. So how about you say no? You can't save everybody. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Okay.
That part.
So practice just saying no. I have learned to say no, and I love it. I love it, and I don't even say it, in a disrespectful way. Be like, no, or I can, no, I'm not.
I feel that. I feel that. Um, for me, I think one thing to incorporate your self love daily is communicating with your spouse or your partner that you're working on elevating and that you're going to be working on your self love.
Well, that's a good
And
one too.
I really think that's like one of the very preliminary steps to actually making that move, especially if you're in a relationship or a partnership or whatever the case may be. Like, and your partner may not be aware that this is where you're at. Like, really sitting down and having that conversation and just saying, like, hey, I'm really about to get knee deep in some self love. You riding with me? Um, I think works because I know when I entered back into the coven mentorship, I literally sat down and had a conversation with my man, like, all right, babe, I'm about to go back to mentorship. So that means this, and this, and it has to happen. That communication is key.
Priestess just talked about that too. Thank you. So that is also confirmation. If you was in Priestess Ifa Pomale's class
Mm-hmm.
today, she definitely touched on that. And so this is spirit just confirming. So sorry to cut you off, but I just y'all all is this the egg bait phenomenon? Is everybody on the same
It
page?
is. We all
Everybody
on
on
the
the
same
same page?
page.
I love that we're echoing each other and stuff. I
Same
love it. Okay,
page.
go ahead. Sorry.
Nope. And then the other thing I think for incorporating self love every day is finish the book that you started reading, but life happened, right? And you put it down because a lot of times these books that we read, whether it's a self help book, or I like revolutionary books myself, that is a doorway to elevating yourself to a level of self-love, like a higher level of self-love, when you like elevate your mind and you spend time reading and studying and doing these things. I feel like that is something that you can definitely incorporate daily, whether it's like reading an article on whatever topic it is, maybe even listening to a podcast, just something that's going to stimulate your mind, and from somebody. If it's a podcast or something, it has to be from someone that is like above you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they shouldn't be at the same level as you. Should always want to be in the room with people who are better than you, smarter than you, and richer than you, so that you can learn from them, right? Like, I'm a sponge. I like to soak shit up, so I always want to be reading from people that I admire and, you know, pull from. Or if I'm listening to something, then I'm listening to something that's going to elevate my mind, not something that's going to take me to the gutter, like literally. So
That
being
is true.
mindful of what you're feeding yourself is a way to start that daily self-love. Being mindful.
That is can I echo off of that? I don't know if you ever just you know those that in the coven, those that are like that are, I don't want to say a certain place spiritual, but those who knows like that messages come through music. The drums have a these are all everything is all one, right? Have you ever just listened to some bullshit ass music like, whatever these whatever they're saying, but whenever you can make out what they're saying, like it's just so like low vibrational, and it makes you low vibrational. Like I
Emo
believe you, Priestess.
rappers.
Yes, you have to monitor what you in like that reality TV stuff. Let me tell you, I just be like, ain't no amount of money in the world. Like I be looking at it and getting upset, and I'm like, I'm not the one with the drink poured in my face. Let me leave this alone. Okay, let me feed my soul something else. And speaking of feeding your soul and what you take in, and what you watch and what you listen to, also what you take in, like that is a form of self-love. I can't tell you how many times, y'all, they say like 75% of African Americans, don't quote me on this, or blacks are like lactose intolerant or whatever. I'm a part of that percentage, but I also like macaroni and cheese. And I also like, coffee that is, a nice little color. I like my men and my chocolate and my chicken dark, but not my coffee. Okay. Like I can't do that. and how many times we eat things or ingest take things into our body that we know are not good for us. Or for those that can't eat spicy food, I know the ancestors love me because I can still do with spice. Okay, take away the milk, take away the lactose and stuff, but don't take away the spice. Okay,
Yeah,
but there's some
dairy literally makes your body create mucus, which isn't good. Too much
it,
mucus in your body isn't
exactly,
good, right? So
exactly.
why they say that we shouldn't have dairy. That's one of the main reasons. But I believe that 75% of us are lactose intolerant, and I think it may even be higher.
And sometimes we don't listen to our body because we want that we want Nana's macaroni and cheese because Thanksgiving about to come. We want that low vibrational plate. I want my plate to lean, okay? I want to lean and I want all the stuff on it. But then I also know that it's gonna make me lethargic. It's gonna make my judgment cloudy. My stomach gonna be hurting and it's gonna be the other Lord, it's me again. Okay. And so, we have to start making better decisions. I know with me, if I eat, I would love to be more on a raw veggie diet and stuff, but I don't want to be this size. Okay. Like I guess I have to do it in moderation. But I realize that when I'm eating more raw fruits and veggies, it's like my body's like, yeah, girl, let's go.
You
We
feel
in it. Okay.
invigorated.
If you feel it's because it's that energy, right? That
Especially,
energy.
yeah, them leafy greens when you eating vegetables with
I know
melanin,
my
you're
body be
actually
like,
feeling
girl.
invigorated as well. So like you're always gonna feel invigorated when you eat like green vegetables and like vegetables with dark colors, like
Yeah, dark, yeah. The
dark
one thing I
purples,
could say,
plums,
I,
and things
I
like that. Hmm.
but so all right, let me ask you this. So you're vegan. You're vegan. I don't think that
Pesca
I
vegan.
consider that, right?
So I am basically vegan, but I do ceremonial meats. Right, I'm part indigenous as well, so I will eat salmon.
So
And
how was your
fresh.
transition for that? Was your body feeling some because that what's that
Oh
Tabitha
yeah.
Brown? She was like sick and then she became a vegan. So can you tell me kind of like your story of how
Yes. So 2020, New Year's Day, I went vegan cold turkey, which I don't advise that because you can definitely hurt yourself in your body. Like, you need to like basically tape your body off of some things. But I just wasn't feeling well. My body was not digesting meats. And I'm lactose intolerant on top of that. So, like, with my body not digesting meat, I just felt the need to go vegan. Like, I was just like, all right, vegetarian is whatever. I don't really need eggs. Like, I don't need that. Cheese. I love melted cheese and I love macaroni and cheese, but I can live without it. And so for the first like year and a half, I was like straight up vegan, strict, like not substituting meats, none of those things because I didn't want to risk falling back into these old habits. But as I go forward with like ceremony and things like that, sometimes I have to eat ceremonial foods. And because spirit allows me, I will do that. But I don't just consume meat on a regular basis and I leave my life plant based unless it's like a fresh fish with bones, skins, and fins. And yeah,
I really admire you, and I want to be like you when I grow up.
girl.
Because, child, let me tell you, I love the pork. Okay, I know they like. I know she ain't no spiritual person when
Whoa,
she's
sis,
talking about the pork.
stop.
Okay, so what I just had this conversation with my brother,
Just
and I used to
stop.
eat. It stopped.
Just stop eating it.
Oh, as you said, it stopped. Oh,
Just stop.
I know. So let me tell you, I don't eat pork like how I used to. Like when I used to live with my mom, we having pork chops. She make a New Year, she eating chitlins. I ain't eating that. She do all of that, right? But then, when I got with my daughter's father, he a hotep, one of them fake Muslims and stuff, just fake it. And he's like, I don't do pork in this house. And so I laid off and I was like, oh, wow. And I just realized how it changed my body. But then it's just sometimes it's just, I don't know if it's the ancestors that just like swinging low and sweet and
Yeah,
chariot
you
that
don't
I'm
need.
like, girl, I ate them ribs at that barbecue.
I know you did,
You see
but
me
they
eat
were
the
smelling
ribs.
fire.
They
Okay,
were smelling
like
fire, right?
Antoine Gerard, like okay, you
Because
just
they were blessed.
made me want to eat some ribs. But thank you for smoking the salmon for me. I truly appreciate it. Like, and that was
Oh, that salmon was bomb too. But I also want to say, and I'm just gonna say this because one day I might be vegetarian. I don't know if veganism is the thing for me, but them grits and eggs, no shrimp and grits that he made with them vegan cheese. I told that, don't you ever disrespect me like that in my life, okay? Even he knew that he messed it up because he said, I ain't gonna give y'all my government now. He said, Priestess almost Sule made those shrimp and grits, okay? And everybody that was eating the shrimp and grits,
he blamed you.
he blamed me. And I said, y'all know, okay, let me tell you, maybe he got the wrong vegan cheese, but let me tell you, that set the tone. It messed up the
All vegan
whole
created equal.
meal. The
It's
whole meal. I said you could have just picked she should have just. There's only one person that's vegan here. I know you want to be you want to be hospitable and
I
stuff.
will eat some avocado toast any day of the week, and I will eat regular grits. Just don't put no milk in it or no eggs.
I made grits and I didn't have any eggs. My grits were good, okay? And then my daddy gonna look at me and say, "Oh, I don't like that." You know I cook that because what my grits taste like a couple of days ago. This is not something you're descendant. He gonna say, "Look at, I don't like that." Why you telling me throw it away? I didn't make the grits.
Take the
He was like, "Take them all right there." And then my friend, Priestess almost Sule made the shrimp and grits. No, I didn't. I'll take that. I take that L. So yeah, so what you put in your body is a reflection of your self-love. Okay. If you know you peeing and it's smelling like Hennessy, drink some water.
Listen, water.
I ain't got a full cup, but
okay, I've been on this for several days because trying to get my skin back right. But listen, clears your pores, unchaps your lips and your elbows and your knees and your heels. Like, you really got to drink a lot of water.
You don't want to be out here looking like Tyrone Biggins. You'd be like, "You're cracking. Are you Tyrone Biggins' son?" No, just drink some water and mind your business while you at it too, and elevate yourself and pour some. I love seafood too. Let me tell you, I will go under the sea, down where it's wetter. Okay, down where it's better. Take it from me. Okay. I love the Little Mermaid. I love Little Mermaid. But all right. Anybody else watch the Little Mermaid? And when y'all see, what is the name? Not Sebastian. I can't even think of it. What's the crab name? Not Sebastian, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Did anybody else look at the crab on the Little Mermaid and wonder how much crab meat is in those claws, or is that just me? I could not. He was like, Ariel, yes, Your Majesty. And I'm just like, I wonder how much meat is in these claws. Like, he just looked like he was living an abundant life under the sea. Okay. And I can't believe I don't even know that guy's name. What is his? It's not. Oh, it is Sebastian, because Flounder is Flounder's the fish. It is Sebastian. Yes, it's Sebastian. And I was like, dang, that would be a good crab boy. I know my daughter, we would just like put some obey on that.
Facebook user said, "Girl, I can't watch Finding Nemo because I get hungry."
Let me tell you something. I'm like, look, y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all trying to keep us shackled to them bottom feeders. Y'all trying to keep us, them weapons forming against us is prospering, okay? Because I love you.
Not eating bottom feeders over here.
They know my heart and my soul. Look, it's one thing at a time. By this time, I'm just gonna be eating air.
No, you're okay. Just leave the pork alone at least, okay?
I can't even eat leaves and stuff because they got listeria, whatever the stuff that they on it. How does it get listeria? How these plant stuff getting all this stuff on it? Why is there a recall on fruits and vegetables?
Because people are still using pesticides. There's a lot of GMOs out there, and all farmers are not created equal. So even when you get fresh fruits and vegetables that are organic, you still need to be doing like a sea salt wash, period, before you cut them, cook them, and do any of those things, because they still have pesticides on them. One of my little sisters ate a grape after she had washed these grapes, picked a grape and ate it, and almost died because it was coated with pesticides. So like, it's really, really important to really wash your fruits and vegetables, even if they're like farm fresh and you watch them get
if it's not a black farmer, I don't trust it. I'm lucky here in Portland. We have a lot of local black farmers, so we get a lot of fresh farm to table food.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of them organic farmers don't use pesticides for that reason.
It's
So
it's gonna be one day I'm gonna have a nice garden. I don't know where I'm gonna be, but I want a coconut tree too. I just want coconuts falling down. I'm gonna have a nice garden, fruits and veggies and stuff. I don't know if I really gonna be out there in the dirt and stuff because I don't want the bugs and all these stuff that come with it. Okay, like I want the best of the world, but without doing the work. I feel like my ancestors did enough for me
yeah,
to like hire somebody to do it.
yeah,
But I do want to be able to harvest my own food so that I can eat, especially if I'm gonna be like vegetarian and
it
stuff.
is very important. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of places and a lot of black smaller cities and towns and stuff that live in food deserts, and it's because we have forgotten how to grow our own food and how to hunt and like really take care of ourselves
Mhm.
without being able to just go to the grocery store. It's very, very, very important to be able to live off the land and know how to do these things, like no matter what. And as a people, here I go with my revolutionary talk. I really
No,
wish that
tell them,
we
sis, tell
would
them.
I just really wish that we would get to that point, of going back to some of the older things and learning how to do all of these things for ourselves so that we don't have to rely on anyone for anything. Because a Facebook user said that California just approved lab grown meat. Yep, and lots more places are going to, and they're not going to tell everybody what it is, and y'all gonna be out here eating lab grown meat.
Hmm.
I'm not. I'm
Girl,
not
I'm
right,
gonna be too
but
ignorant on this live.
let's learn how to shoot, like literally. I'm not talking about no 9 millimeters. I'm talking about hunting if you're a meat eater or a carnivore. And let's learn how to use bow and arrows and things like that. Like let's literally learn how to live off the land and be prepared for all the
Mhm.
things.
Someone said, "I wish I could just live off the grid." Me too. Me too.
Living off grid is beautiful. I know some people who have property out here in the Northwest and they live off the grid, and it's really amazing, but it's also can be limiting, and you have to be
Mhm.
prepared for that. Like you have to be prepared to live off the grid. It's
Mhm.
it's a real thing. I used to
But
go
I'm gonna have
to
the best of both worlds. I'm
there's
gonna
a
be in the city.
in Chehalis, Washington, there's a farm up there that I go to, and he has like these little mini cabins, and it's off grid. Like you don't got no cell service where you out there. You got to know where you're going to get there. And we used to just go out there, just go have like little weekend retreats, just go out
That's
there.
beautiful.
It's really
Yeah, just make sure it's black people, cause child, the next thing you know, it's gonna be like,
But or
it's
learn
gonna
how to
be
shoot and just be packing. What you talking about?
child.
We're not running around here being scared. That is
If you by yourself, then yeah, you can only take out but so
look
many
at
people.
me.
If it's a mob of people that is out,
I'm going
okay,
out
there
shooting.
are people. I don't want to get on there, but there are people that just organize just to let me not even go on there, okay? But like,
Yeah,
okay,
they
let
do.
me go on Facebook Marketplace and sell this used couch. You gotta pick it up, and then okay, I'm gonna come pick up. Oh, we got our bait, and there's only so much you can. Okay, so
Listen,
more of
I'm
the
going
story
out
is also
shooting.
with
I'm having
self
bow and
love.
arrows. I'm setting some bombs. I'm setting some booby traps. You're not catching my black
Learn how
ass.
to make a fire too. Learn how to be able
Mhm.
to start a fire from
Yeah.
scratch
Or
as
just even
well.
have a bug out bag. Can anybody tell me in the chat if they got a bug out bag? If you got a bug out bag,
I
like
do.
my best friends, because
I do.
two bug out bags.
I do. I have one.
That's what's up.
But with the limitations that I have, I have enough. And they
But
like, girl, you doing too much. Or am I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I
you're
don't
not.
have
If you
enough.
feel like you're not doing enough, then you're
I
not.
don't
'Cause
have
I
enough.
definitely need to upgrade my bug out bags because one goes in the car, one goes in the house. Because you could be in the car when a natural disaster happens, and you could be at home when a natural disaster happens, and you need to have your bag ready to go.
Hello. I
Yeah, I
have
know what Priestess and Auntie does. She has one in her car. I seen her bug out bag in the car. I seen
hello.
it. It's like you got to. And if you have a family, it's suggested to have a bug out bag for your family, like
Mhm.
with changes of clothes, medications, laminated documents and papers and plastic and things like that you're gonna need. Like this is a real life thing that people need to be doing, and being prepared to do for their families is having bug out bags and having a bag for the family, having a bag in the car, and having multiple bags. Because if you
maybe you should do a class on it. It might be a little bit too radical for OHI. I don't know if we got passed by EA, but I think that you should have maybe you and Priestess Anansi. I'm not trying to volunteer her, but I think that would be an excellent class to have. If for real, if I'm talking about like self-defense type of thing, and I need some sort of violence, some sort of advice, it's like Priestess Anansi, like, hey, look, I need. She's like, you need this, and she is like, and she knows, but she's in another state. I don't even live in a state. Okay, I just live in the city. Okay, I don't even live in a state. Technically, I don't live in a state, but so there's like different laws and stuff here. But you guys should teach. I think that would be like an excellent class. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That
Just as
part.
well. And I also, y'all know how I believe in being spiritually protected, but also too physically as well. So, and just making sure that you're, like I said, you're ready for all things.
Yeah. And California is probably going to be the first to go. That's where I'm from, born and raised. Northern California, EPA all day.
What's EPA?
East Palo Alto.
Oh, because I know that's the Environmental Protection Agency. That's what they call it in DC. I'm like, girl, you work with the EPA? Okay.
East Palo Alto. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I will not be. I'm high ground. I'm on the West Coast. I'm a West Coast girl, but.
Are you in LA too? I know. Look, I know it's right now. It is 6:58 on the West Coast, and I know the sun is probably still out. Did the sun go down yet? I pray you in the.
Yeah, it's going down.
But y'all not in the thick of the night like it is on the East Coast. We in the thick of the night, okay?
Got a nice little sunset.
We are changing. The seasons has changed, so this is going to be a time where y'all got to do self-love as well. I don't, seasonal depression. Once you realize, like, what your triggers are and things like that, you be like, seasonal depression, what? Girl, who is you? Okay. Literally. But that is real when especially if you leave the house and it's dark when you leave the house, you come back, it just looks like a real thriller night. I'm just waiting for Michael Jackson to come out and just, and that can play a lot of on our psyche. Everything outside is dead. You don't have to see it like that, but there's no leaves on the tree. I know in the Northeast it's not. In the mid Atlantic it's not. The grass is brown.
Yeah, the leaves are starting to turn from green to yellow here.
They're looking beautiful. They're like burnt orange.
The grass be green.
Yeah, it's burnt orange. And and I just be so surprised that the street cats be surviving through. I'll be so happy when the first day of spring break or it's like nice outside, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, the cats survived.
Open the windows for the first time, and the birds be
child. Did I tell you?
That's my favorite thing about the spring, getting woken up by the birds.
I do like that. I like the chirping. The birds be chirping, but like I've got boo-booed on a lot of times. Girl, I was in El Salvador, and the guy was trying to tell me in Spanish to move because the birds be pooping. But he was talking so fast, I only know like street Spanish. I know, how the kids be like, the cat says me out. Well, that's me. I'd be like, yo, no, say, tell it. That's me. You got to speak slow. And so he was telling me to move because the birds be pooping. Man, and I just be like, oh, this is El Salvador. It's nice outside. Man, if I ain't tell that bird poop, right, it was like right on my face. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that as a blessing. I'm going to because they said it's good luck. Okay. But I can do what y'all do. Y'all just be a little bit disrespectful.
It's always my car. But
and they be ruthless with it too. Like, what did it do to you? It's just sitting here.
Literally. It's under the tree. Just under the tree. But to touch on what you were saying about the seasonal depression, one thing that I started, it's day 6 for me, but I started a gratitude challenge, 60-day gratitude challenge, just to kind of really, the gratitude challenge helps me with not falling into a seasonal depression. I lost my father during the fall, like literally days after Thanksgiving. So like, it's one of those things where if you catch it and you know your triggers and you're paying attention and you're self-aware, you can prevent some of these things, right? So I do the gratitude challenge. That's my practice of being self-aware when I'm like, okay, girl, this how you've been feeling, this what you've been going through, what's about to happen now. And gratitude is like, let's do a gratitude challenge.
I love that idea. I need to post mine too because Chad, I think I missed a couple of days, but I remember when I was living with Gerard, and his house be cold. My friend his house be like 58 degrees like all year round. It'd be colder inside than outside sometimes. It'd be in the dead of winter and it's like negative 14 degrees, and somehow his house is still colder than that. And I remember I used to be like, okay, I'm about to complain, but let me get my gratitude first. I'm grateful that I have a safe place to stay, a house. There's no problems with this house, but it's motherfucking cold in here, okay? And so I would, before I complain or after I complain, I try to give a little gratitude. Like, I'm thankful, but I'm also going to honor how I'm feeling right now. I feel cold, and I think this is ridiculous. And if you want me to get out your house, just say get out your house. You ain't got to ice me out, literally, okay? Enchanted Vibes, spiritual readings and wellness, Iyami blessings. Child, it sure was a blessings. It was blessed. I was like, I'll take it. As long as there ain't no snapping turtle or something that can like really hurt me, I'll deal with it. Okay. Exactly. Anything else that you want to add, Priestess? Does anybody else want any questions, comments, any complaints, anything that you're going to do that you have done to practice self-love that we haven't talked about? Like I said, this is going to be a series. So this is just, we're just talking about self-love, period, right here. And then we're going to, have our little categories and go a little, go deeper in things.
Yes.
Mirror work.
Yeah, mirror work, definitely Facebook user. I think mirror work is super important. I went through a phase of not looking in the mirror. Literally, I would not look in the mirror. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't look at myself. I was ashamed and all the things, but I had to get out of that because I had to get ready for a job interview this one day. So I literally had to force myself to look in the mirror. So
what did you see when you looked in the mirror after you didn't look in the mirror for how many days? So many days.
I saw a young lady who was transitioning and changing and working through the hurt. And it just propelled me forward. This is in 2017. So it was there's a second where I was not looking in the mirror and I wasn't working or doing none of the things. I was just doing things.
Well, I think Omo, I don't think she could talk about it. We definitely not on here, but Omo Wari had a moment where she ain't look in the mirror. I couldn't laugh. I was seeing my reflection everywhere. Okay, but I know she can't talk about it, but I think it's very hard. And I'm not even a vain person. I just want to make sure I ain't got eye boogers in my eyes. I ain't got no boogers in my nose. I just be like, y'all don't see that. Y'all don't feel it. Make sure I ain't got no dandruff on, And so, but also when there is a feeling of guilt, depression, hurt, you don't want to, look at yourself.
Nope.
I probably back in the day, I probably look at myself. Look at you, bitch! You got crust all in your eyes. You can't even get it together.
No, that's real. I mean, being in a negative headspace and looking at yourself, you're just literally feeding yourself these.
Oh my gosh!
I was saying, in the thick of trying not to curse myself, right? Because of looking at myself, I'm seeing the thoughts that are not coming from Ori, right? These thoughts are not coming from Ori. They're coming from somewhere else and they're just not productive. They're just not productive. It's The
Because
negative,
Ori would never talk to you like that.
right.
Ori's gonna get you together, but she's gonna get you together with
That
love.
part. So it's like the negative shit that people feed you or put on you or say about you. When you look in the mirror and you see that and you see those things, you're repeating those things, right? So ultimately, they're cursing you and you're cursing yourself. So you're doing
continue
this
with that cycle. Yeah.
like not good. So for a moment, I wouldn't do that, but I worked through that because I'm beautiful and I needed to check my face.
And you sure is, because I ain't gonna like the first time like I seen you in person, I was like, oh, she is so beautiful. You was like 10 hours late and stuff, but we ain't gonna go into that.
A whole day. Don't even play with me.
But and that was
Play.
like, yeah, I was, and that's the immediate, thing that, because this was like maybe the WhatsApp days. You can't really tell pictures from WhatsApp and things like that. And so when I seen you, I was like, oh, she is like beautiful. And then you were just very genuine and insightful and things like that. And so I was like, oh, what? So I feel like you're a beautiful person inside.
Thank you. You're
and
beautiful.
out. I just feel like you're just genuine, and and I hope that's a reflection because of the self-love that you are pouring into yourself, that is radiating so much that we can see that shit from what? Space, okay?
You can see that shit.
Okay. And even the haters can see that shit from hell, like, damn, she's still up there shining bright. Damn. Okay. So
I see the light beaming down on us.
Hello. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's talk about love donations. Thank you, Enchanted Vibes, Spiritual Readings and Wellness. Did you change it because we were butchering your name, Priestess? Is that why? Because I was like Priestess Ifa Pomele, Omowaware Ogban Yoni Steam. Like, I know she's like, let me just change my name.
Yes, I definitely do Yoni Steams.
It's you know what? I just feel like, I'm so happy for all of the new names and stuff, but I'd be like, hola. I'd be like, is it Phoebe or Shaby? Which one is it? I'd be like, which one? I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna get it together. Yes, I'm gonna get it together because I know it's Shaby, CB. It's like, and then we got Yimmy and Yomi, and it's like, look. So it's just like when the mamas got all those kids. And they were like, Tyshawn, like Tyshawn, Tyreeka, you know who I'm talking to. That's how I'd be like, well, Priestess, let me just, Priestess, Ola, like, Ola, Eola, Ifa Karate, Priestess, I'd be like, look, it's just be like, I'll be being attacked by the names. But I love y'all, and I'm going to get y'all names together because these names are powerful and everything. So let's talk about love donations. I guess I could post a comment in here because I couldn't figure out how. And you can put yours up there too, Priestess. So this is my Cash App, Divinely Clear Audience. It is no more fuck you pay me because I have done well. I have elevated. I have poured a little self-love, okay, into my life, and I'm gonna do better. Okay, so this is for love donations. You have Cash App $ Yemeya Goddess, and then for myself $ Divinely Clear Audience. And so you're welcome, Facebook user. I don't know who this is. You're Facebook user. I'm so mad I can't even see y'all names and stuff, but thank you, Facebook user, for coming out. So, all right. So just a quick things. Tomorrow, you guys, on I say December. Ooh, child, let me not do that. October 8th at 11 o'clock, we are having O'Shea service. Okay, so it is $4 to register. Priestess, the Reverend Priestess Oshun Funke, Yanifa, my godmother, our spiritual leaders, our it's doing to my Facebook.
I'll do it right now.
Okay, thank you. She is going to lead a sermon. So please come. You don't want to miss the information that she's going to pour into us. Also, you can check us out at learnorishahoodoo.com to see what I'm doing, what the other senior priestesses are doing, to book a reading, to find any classes. Check out some of my class. I actually did a class about self-love potpourri, you guys. So that could be another way. If you want to bring in the energy of self-love into your house, you can, take my class, Self-Love Potpourri. You can follow me on Facebook, which is Priestess Almost Sule. Oh, it's Almost Sule. It's Almost Sule on Facebook. On my YouTube, it's Priestess Almost Sule. And on Instagram, it's Ori_Dapo. Okay. Priestess, did you want to tell them what you're doing, what stuff going on with you?
Yes, definitely. So daily, we're on day 7 tomorrow for the daily gratitude challenge. So you'll see my posts. Feel free to comment on the post or post as well. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I am Priestess Olaia Ifasebee. On Facebook, my business is Yemiya's Inclinations, and it is a spiritual offerings boutique. So on Facebook, we are Yemiya's Inclinations. On Instagram, it's Yemiya's_Inclinations. And I also am starting a YouTube channel, so I don't even have any followers yet. So everybody stop what you're doing and go follow me right now. Spiritual Offerings with Priestess Olaia Ifasebee. Please go follow my YouTube page and I will start posting stuff on there, I promise. So yeah, I also am a Yoni Steam practitioner here in Portland, Oregon. So next Saturday, I will be doing another live segment talking about Yoni steaming and just kind of covering some of the myths and all the negative things that people are talking about Yoni steaming, because it's actually like a really great thing to connect with the divine feminine, self-healing, and a plethora of other great things. So,
well, the pastor on the internet said that when you yoni steam, it brings in bad energy and the devil and stuff. That's what the pastor said, and it was just all over my Facebook. And if the pastor said it, then it got to be correct, right? That got to be the gospel truth, right? I don't know. I don't know. So hopefully you can
know
come
whose
teach
pastor
us.
that was.
I don't know who this lady was. I think it was. Oh, I feel like it was Omo Jolie. I feel like she posted something like that.
She did. Omo Jolie did
I
post
think it was.
And I saw it, and I laugh at it honestly. And I've seen all kinds of random comments about like Yoni steaming and things like that. But until you actually tell me that you had a bad experience with Yoni steaming, you're just basing your experience, your lack of experience, off someone else's lack of knowledge. And that's really what it be. Because unless you out here steaming your own twat, like you don't know what it's about, you don't know what is happening or what's going on, and you can hurt yourself. And there are contradictions, and there are things that you need to be mindful of and worry about, and like be conscious of if you want to do yoni steaming. But it's not anything bad. I'm not chanting to bring in any spirits or devils or demons and things like that, because I don't get down like that, right? Like I don't even truly believe that there is a devil. So that doesn't even, doesn't apply to me, but to someone else who maybe does believe in those things and allow those things in their life, I get it. But for me, absolutely not. We're connecting with the divine feminine within and getting a better sense of self, and connecting with ourselves to know ourselves. Women who have like endometriosis and things like this, we live in pain, right? And I've pretty much cleared and cured some of my endometriosis symptoms, but I still have other symptoms, and I still get fibroids, and I still have these other things that happen. But because I know my body, I can tell when these things are changing. And if it weren't for yoni steaming, I probably wouldn't know my body so well, or notice the change in the symptoms that I'm experiencing, or when they come back, or what have you, right? Because paying attention to your body and knowing your body should be the first thing that we're really focused on, in alignment with Ori, because it's our temple, right? Like we have to worship ourselves. We need to like take care of ourselves and like nourish ourselves. That all is a part of yoni steaming. It's like I drink tea, I meditate when I'm steaming, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll listen to music. It just depends what type of steam I'm doing. So it's like a ritual for me when I'm yoni steaming, because I'm inviting the divine feminine to come to me more, to come through me and express through me and things like that. So Yeah, I'll be getting into that
Well,
next week.
yeah, come teach the people, come educate the people. Who says shadow work too, satanic?
Oh gosh.
Now, let me tell you, I think I told y'all
Everything that's
before.
not in the Bible is going to be satanic to some people. And
Girl,
that's
let
something
me
that we
tell
have
you,
to
I went
understand.
to
And as long as you know that all is one, and as long as you know that there is one God, one creator, and one, then whatever, everything else that everyone else is believing and saying is irrelevant. And that's just my
Mhm,
personal opinion. I've always
mhm.
been, I grew up Baptist in a Christian household. My whole family are Christian Baptists, right? Like, I get it. No shame, no guilt. Like, I'm not talking mess. My relationship with God has always been personal and private, and I do not have to report that to anyone. I don't have to show or express that to anyone. I don't have to prove that to anyone. So my personal relationship is mine and mine alone. And I don't care. So if God is telling me, no, you need to know your shadow because your shadow pops up when this person gets mentioned or this name gets said, and you get all crunk and you start sweating because your Ori and your shadow are doing these things, God is telling me I need to pay attention to these things, not ignore them, because that's how we find ourselves in prison, jail, drugged, drunk,
It's a
and
world
hurt.
of chaos.
Like, literally.
Yeah, yeah, just in the world of chaos. I always say we just gonna leave you with this. Do what makes you feel good, that's going to keep you, that's in alignment with your destiny. Everyone has different destinies, everyone has different paths. It's not meant for everyone to understand what you're doing. And honestly, what you're doing, none of nobody's business anyway. You ain't got to be on a soapbox telling motherfuckers what you're doing. Sometimes we invite that into our lives. No one's saying, like Priestess Ifa Pomele say, or you know, being in the closet. No one's telling you to be in the closet, you know. No one's telling you to be in the closet. But also too, you know, when you do put yourself out here, people are gonna judge. Okay, people judge me every day. They're like, look at that voodoo girl, you know, look at she doing voodoo. Look at she going crazy. She done look, she wearing all that white, she got these beads and stuff. She's talking about these, what are these African demons she's talking about? Like, you
Talking
know,
about demons.
and let me tell you, but my life, if you know me, you know where I've been and where I am now. My life is a reflection of my consistent work and me being in alignment with what all of Dumari and the spirits are telling me. So,
Yes.
like I did a post, how dare me talk myself out of my destiny to make somebody feel comfortable?
Literally, and I'm not doing that.
It's
Not
not like, what do I look like? I know ancestors. I know they will probably try to physically manifest themselves so they can 1-2 piece me. Like, girl, what is you doing? Okay, so do what makes you feel good. Do what's best for you in your life. People have their own lives to live, and they have lived their life, and it is what it is. Also, too, make sure you, if you have not followed my godmother, Priestess Oshun Funke on Facebook, please do so, please, because this is the manifestations of all the work that she's been putting in with us, and you and I, we have known a lot each other for some time, Priestess, and so I'm just, look at us now. Those few years ago, who would have known
man,
that we would have been doing a live together? And
no,
we
man.
are we are the fruit of, you know, Priestess Oshun Funke's of her labor and her love and things. So make sure you check her out. Make sure you go into you check us out at Orisha Hoodoo, Witchcraft for Black Americans. Please check us out. You can check us out on Melanated Witchcraft as well. Just stay out of the bullshit and fuckery. Don't talk about the piss jars. Don't try to,
Listen,
no, don't try to use your blood to keep a man. If you got to do that, then you don't need to be
if
with
he's
him.
whooping
Okay.
on you and cheating on you, you don't need to keep him, okay?
You told Hoppo to beat me, but I'm gonna put some blood in his spaghetti. Okay, no, no, like I'm out of here. Okay, you got, okay. What did Miss Sophia say? You better bash his head and worry about heaven later. Okay, but don't do that. Don't do that. Just leave. Just leave. Don't do it, Miss Sophia. Don't do it. Don't do it, Miss Sophia. Okay, but this is our class. Thank you so much. Anything? Thank you so much, Priestess, for this lovely idea. You got a little outro that you do? Do you have an outro?
No. Test these waters if you want to.
And I like that. I actually like that. Okay. Y'all have heard it here first. Okay. And I am Priestess, almost Sule. And like I always say, pray with me, don't play with me. Oh, and then check us out on the Discord. Thank you, Oshun Kamebi. Go ahead and come to this. Let me tell you, take the first step that's going to change your life. Okay. And I'm telling you, this ain't no sales pitch. I don't lie. Okay. I cannot lie. And so let me tell you, if you are thinking about a community of like-minded people that will not judge you, that have experience in the church, have experience with Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, Christian, anything,
all the things,
and anything, any walks. We have people from all walks of life, and you wouldn't even Scientology. Like I'm telling you, I'm even the science. Do we got somebody from Scientology? We probably do. Got some scientists. We got some scientistologies up
We're all
here.
scientists.
Because you know what? Exactly. And we are diverse, and we are helping everyone to remember their indigenous ways so they could be in alignment with their destiny, break generational traumas and curses, and do right so we can, do right for the people coming behind us,
Yes.
So check us out, and check us out. Thank you for coming to our class. Give us a feedback, and we shall see you next week for our next one. Okay. And remember, until then, practice some self-love, because guess what? If you don't love yourself, nobody will.
Love you.
Okay. Who gonna love me? Who's gonna love me like that? Okay. Oh, next week. Bye bye. Ciao.